Good evening, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Grant Kelly. I haven't prepared a speech today. I just thought I would tell you a bit about myself because my policies, I've got a website, grantkelly.nz. If you want to know anything about what I stand for or what my policies are, you can go and have a look at that. And I'm not going to sit here like a robot and repeat everything that you've been hearing about rates, affordability, and Murray wards and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, I was born in a little town called Waihi, and I lived there for about 10 years. I actually lived next door to the mayor of Waihi, and he had 5 kids, and I was from a family of 5, and we lived on a quarter-acre pavlova paradise, and it truly was like that growing up in the 60s. My father was the editor of the local newspaper, and he had restless feet, so we moved to Pairo, then we moved to Matamata, then we moved to Turangi, and that's where I met my wife at high school, and she actually whakapapas to Bethlehem, Ngāti Ranginui, Te Whānau Tofo, and her father was a lifelong Ministry of Works employee, built half the power stations, well, probably most of the power stations on the Waikato River, and finished up his career at Cromwell, then moved back to here and built a house in Papamoa, and then finally in his 70s moved back to his whenua and built a house there in Bethlehem. He's buried in the Urupara Ngāti Hangarai. My wife has probably couldn't recite her whakapapa to you, which is her own choice. You know, she hasn't mixed with tribal politics at all. But my early career, one of my friends gave me a clipping from the newspaper, which was a job advertisement for General Motors New Zealand for an engineering cadet. And I applied along with 140 others, just telling about my experience fixing my cars as a teenager. And they sent me an airline ticket, and I went down for an interview, got the job, and then spent the next 6 years working for General Motors. I went through a thorough engineering cadetship, working in just about every department of General Motors, and finally the production manager called me in one day and said, look at my production managers, they're all nearing retirement, they're all going to depart very shortly, we need some young blood. So he put me on the final assembly line. I'm supervising 23 young employees, well, and some older employees, assembling Holdens and Vauxhalls, and then that was about the time of Rogernomics, and Japanese imports started coming in. It was clear that the motor industry was on its deathbed, and a sink and lid policy was enacted. Okay. And so anyway, grantkelly.nz, take a look at my website, know about my policies. Well, it is an unexpected bonus, but so a bit more about myself. When I was at General Motors, I also studied for New Zealand Certificate in Engineering, Mechanical. That allowed me 2-year discount on a Bachelor of Engineering Mechanical, which I took up in 1986, and took 2 years to achieve that when it became clear that the writing was on the wall for the motor industry in New Zealand. I actually didn't pursue a career in engineering. I went on and worked for a national distribution company for computer software because personal computers were becoming a thing then, and I actually became virtually a travelling salesman, and I spent the next 8 years travelling the country, meeting retailers around the country, listening to them, understanding their needs, providing product that met their market and their demographics for the business that they were in. And that's very much what we do as counsellors, I think. You know, we have to get out, we need to listen to the people. What can we offer? What do you need? What's it going to cost? And obviously we need to be resilient and make sure that the rates are not going to be unaffordable, and people are not going to be forced out of their homes because they can't afford their rates. So I've also been involved in community group governance for the last 25 years in various things, motorsport, environmental, walkway, cycleway groups, plus creative Te Puke chairman for 5 years. And basically, I've been the secretary for the walkway group, and basically it's a microcosm of council. So basically you set an agenda, you hold a meeting, you produce some minutes and you try to achieve your goals through that mechanism. So it's about process, it's about mechanism, it's about battling on when things aren't happening, funding isn't there, but you just keep going, and that is also very much good discipline for becoming a counsellor. So I became a counsellor in 2016. I've been there for 9 years. I've worked under Gary Weber, I've worked under James Weber. And so there are aspects of both of those leaders that are good, but there are things that we're not so happy about. The secret squirrel stuff, the being a bit more open and inclusive with your counsellors. And I think I've done enough, I've seen enough. I think I can do things better, and I'd like the opportunity to be able to do that. Thanks for your time.